All I've been seeing in the MGS fandom for the last couple months after the release of MGS Delta is about what games Konami can remake next and what project they should work on and how they'll change MGS1 if they do remake it, and I can't help but think, what are we doing here? Have we all forgotten what happened 10 years ago? The fuck Konami movement? How Konami isolated Kojima from his own team so it made working on MGS5 more difficult? How Konami removed his name from the MGS5 box? How Konami banned Kojima from going to the Game Awards, firing other staff members for writing about the company negatively online? Everyone said they'd never buy an MGS game not made by Kojima, so when Survive was announced just 1 year after 5, it got the negative reception as expected, besides the fact that it was just a zombie spin-off. Sales weren't mentioned in 2018 after it came out, so I assume it did poorly. Some could say that buying MGS5 supported bad practice, but it was more of a solidarity with Kojima to see out his legacy franchise, and it's honestly a damn fine game that still holds up to this day, and I still play it often. So then, just one simple question: why did Delta sell 1 million copies in a single day then? Are we just okay now with Konami making bank off of Kojima's work? I'm gonna guess a lot of new people bought it for the first time, but I think people in the MGS Facebook groups and subreddits are more of the hardcore audience that were around 10 years ago. Look at me, I sound like Kaz right now. If Konami actually let Kojima walk away after MGS2 like he wanted, and then having other people make other stories in the MGS world as he wanted, that would be fine. But it's his series of damn near 30 years at that point, and he wasn't even allowed to finish the last game that they forced him to keep making in the first place, so I feel like the series ending with Kojima is the only way. I'm not a Kojima apologist, because the guy's a bit of an arsehole from what I'm led to believe, but you need to stand on principle, and nobody deserves that, especially the guy that revitalized an entire genre back in the day and gave a huge blockbuster to Konami. Konami gives the okay to a subpar Silent Hill 2 remake made by a hack studio, and we're suddenly okay with them again? And I can see a future where Metal Gear just turns into the Star Wars of video games, with a series that just goes on forever and ever, with endless reboots and sequels and quasi-prequels and whatever else. A remake of Metal Gear 1, 2, Metal Gear Solid 1 and Peace Walker would require additional work, and at that point it's just tampering with a very storied and already established franchise, with some other hack who doesn't care about the series writing it all. I'd be up for an entire series rewrite, because it would certainly help a lot of the lore, and a lot of people would claim the older games need more content to feel more substantial in the quote-unquote modern age, but only if it's written by Kojima. And all MGS4 needs is a port. It still looks amazing. So I don't know if they've changed management over there, but it just seems like their endeavours to move away from console games failed, and they're just crawling back with franchises people love with member berries, trying to win people over, and the sad part is, it's actually working. Some things can't be forgiven. You don't just get to abuse your staff and have it be swept away. Forgive and forget is one thing, but it just seems like everyone just forgot. It's not like Konami were just your average bad company. The things they did 10 years ago were evil. Forcing Metal Gear Solid 5 to be made in the first place, well after Kojima wanted to be done with it, but also to be released unfinished because they've just decided to be done with the very thing they had him make, as well as console games in general, but then 10 years later going back to those very games to make money just makes me question what the whole point was in the first place. Even if he'd been trying to quit since 2, Kojima's swan song that was going to be the biggest thing he'd ever made ultimately was released unfinished, with very obvious cut features and no real ending. Between concept art and Blu-ray extras, there's more cut dialogue for Venom Snake than spoken dialogue for him, and I think that says it all, and it's just upsetting.